boys and girls. Welcome to Lisa's Book Nook. I'm Lisa McCurdy, and I'm so excited to be reading to you tonight. If it's not nighttime where you are, and you're just listening to this story as part of just a story time, that's great. We always love additional friends. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel so that you can hear all the fantastic books I'm planning on reading to you. Remember, at the end of each story, we'll do our relaxation and breathing exercises. So get your favorite stuffed animal or doll, climb into bed, fluff your pillow, lay down, pull the covers up, and let's travel into the faraway land of make-believe. Tonight's story is The Girl Who Wouldn't Brush Her Hair. As we can see, we have a very beautiful young girl right there, and she has all these little mice hanging out in her head. Let's find out what happens in this book. There once was a girl who wouldn't brush her hair. Her hair was wonderful, bare brown and wavy. The girl also had a doll that looked just like her, except the doll had no hair and was only a baby. The doll's name was Baby. So here goes her long, brown, wavy hair and her adorable little doll, Baby. That's a really great name for a doll. After the girl's bath every evening, she'd pile a turban on her head and pretend she was a queen. There she is. She loves her bath time, and this turban is basically like, for her, it's a big towel, and it's drying her hair. And she's holding a broom. Silly girl. At bedtime, she would unravel the turban and let her hair fall down in a tangled heap. No brushing. It's just my way, she explained to the grown-ups. And then she'd lie down beside Baby and begin to dream. So basically, she told her mom and dad, and we can only kind of see their feet, no brushing. I'm not brushing my hair. It's just my way, which basically means just the way I like it. And we all know what happens if you have any type of curly or wavy hair. It gets really tangled. It's really important to brush it every day. Okay. This went on for a great many evenings. The hair washing, the turban, the not brushing, the dreams. It was wonderful, really, until one night the girl unwound the turban, and what was that? Oh dear, a little mouse had taken up residence in a particularly tangled place in her hair. There goes our mouse friend, boys and girls. He's right in her hair. It's nice and warm and cozy for him there. Now, we all know that in books, people scream when they see a mouse and jump on a chair. But the girl was in bed. There was no chair nearby. And besides, she'd read enough fairy tales to remember that mice always turned out to be your helpers. So she simply said, "Hello up there, mouse," and decided to let it be. So she's just going to let that mouse basically hang out in her hair. Because in fairy tales, mice are usually your helpers. And can you think of a fairy tale she might be thinking of? I'd probably say Snow White. That's the first one off the top of my head. But I'm sure, boys and girls, there are lots and lots of fairy tales that have mice as helpers. Okay. just my way," she said to the grown-ups when they came to kiss her goodnight and saw the mouse making a cozy bed on top of her head. So there's her dad and her mom, and she's in bed, and the little mouse is nice and cozy also. And she told them, "It's just my way." That's the same thing she said when it was time to brush her hair and she didn't want to. She basically told them, "It's just my way." The next morning, the girl awoke to find that another mouse had moved in, a bigger one, carrying a suitcase full of fairy tale books. And there, by the foot of the bed, a couple of tiny mice with rucksacks were gazing longingly in her hair's very direction. So here goes this big mouse, and he's carrying a suitcase filled with all kinds of books. And there goes the original mouse. He has almost like a little bird's nest he's created. And then way in the back of the book there, at the edge of her bed, are two little mice looking at her hair. And it actually looks like they might have little suitcases with them. I wonder what they're thinking. I think I know. That day, the girl, the doll, and all the mice went to school. It wasn't long before word got around the mouse world that there was a very nice home atop a girl's head, and more mice joined them. So all the mice are looking around. She's walking to school. I'm seeing him jumping on her hair. He looks like he's holding on for dear life. And these guys are running like playing catch up, like, "Wait for me, guys." So they all have finally found out that there's a really great, nice, comfortable place to live. The school children marveled at this new development. They too stopped brushing their hair in hopes of starting their own little mouse menageries. How wonderful, they thought, like having your own petting zoo in your head. But the girl's mother refused to pack the mice lunch or make them supper, so the girl had no choice but to share hers with them. Soon the girl who wouldn't brush her hair found herself very hungry. So, as we see, all of her school friends, they like all the mice in her hair, and they want the mice to come to their hair too. So they all stopped brushing their hair. Even this little friend. And as you can see, this little friend is feeding one of the mice, and it looks like he's feeding him maybe a Cheeto or something. And the look on our main character's face is so distressed because the mice are all eating her food. Her mom wasn't about to feed mice, so she's sharing her food with them. He's drinking her milk. They're all eating like little pieces of maybe cheese. He's eating her sandwich. And then that means she's very hungry. The girl also began to feel worried. Yes, she loved her companions. After all, they told funny knock-knock jokes and were very sweet to Baby. But they didn't like the bath. "We can't swim," they said, clinging to the knotted strands. "Don't do it, we'll drown." "That's silly," the girl said. "All mice can swim. We learned that in our unit on rodents." "We'll overlook your name calling," the Mouse King announced. He was the biggest one, who had arrived earlier on with the fairy tale books in the suitcase. But there will be no baths. It's just our way. They had learned that last part from listening to the girl. So here she is. Now we remember, boys and girls, at the beginning of the story, she loved the bath. She loved putting the beautiful turban on her head and pretending she was a queen. But now the Mouse King right over here is basically telling her, it's just our way. No baths. We can't swim. And she looks very disappointed by that. Much to the mice's relief, the girl agreed. For though she was becoming quite dirty, she had grown fond of their company. They had set up such a marvelous home for themselves, a palace really, atop her head. It had secret passageways and a cheese cellar and a tiny circular moat. So let's see, here's a beautiful reflection of her. Right here is their cheese cellar, their moat. They've got secret passageways there, and they look like they're telling a knock-knock joke, boys and girls. This one says, knock, knock, and that says, who's there? Except they don't finish the joke, so we don't get to see it, or hear it, I should say. I think I would like a bunch of mice in my hair too, except I wouldn't want them to be real. Maybe just some fake ones as like a really cool decoration. Okay, let's see this page. But the not bathing turned out to be less pleasing than the not brushing had been. The girl was starting to, how shall we put this? She was starting to smell. And so, of course, no one wanted to be near her. Even Baby tried to keep her distance. Now it was as if the mice were in charge of the girl, rather than the other way around. Well, now she's starting to smell because she hasn't taken a bath in such a long time. And as you can see, there goes her friends, and they're holding their nose, and even Baby wants to be in the wagon way behind her because she doesn't smell good. And she doesn't look very happy anymore. She looks like she's really sad. The mice have taken over her hair, and they've, not allowed her to take a bath. She looks really sad. Okay. The girl began to sleep less as well. She was afraid, for one thing, of smushing the mice if she rolled over, and for another, the mice were rather nocturnal, as it turns out. They chattered all night, keeping up Baby, telling her complicated knock-knock jokes, into the wee hours until the sun rose, and the girl, bleary-eyed, climbed out of bed. So we learn on this page, boys and girls, that the mice are nocturnal, and that means they basically they have more activity during the nighttime. It's kind of like a hamster. If you have a hamster, boys and girls, or if you know anyone who has a hamster, the hamster at night will usually wake up and run on the wheel and, just enjoy himself. And that's the same with mice. And they were basically keeping her up. Oh, she looks so sad. Let's see what this page has to say. Each morning, after carefully brushing her teeth and dressing, it was hard to pull a sweater over a head full of protesting mice. She tidied up her mouse palace, headed as best she could, and dragged herself, Baby, and all of the mice to school. So basically, boys and girls, what it's saying is Each morning, she basically was really tired. It was hard for her to get everyone all together, all the mice, because she has to put her clothes over her head and they were protesting. But she managed to drag them all to school with her. She does not look happy. So now not only has her hair not been brushed in probably days, maybe even weeks, but she also smells. Oh my goodness. Then one terrible day, teacher said, "I'm so sorry, but you can no longer bring baby. Each child may have only one friend for nap time. And it appears that by now you have 100 mice in your hair. The rules are quite broken enough." Oh no! Teacher's basically saying that she can't bring baby. And she can't bring baby anymore because of all the mice that live in her hair. The girl slumped her shoulders and hung her heavy head as baby and all of the mice stared at her in silence. Oh, poor mice. Dear hairless baby had been the girl's best friend since she herself had been hairless and a baby. The girl needed baby with her at school. That was that. "It's just my way," she wept. So she's sitting there in school thinking, what am I going to do? I've had baby since I was a baby. And then she realized that it's just her way. Her and baby go together. So the teacher is basically telling her, you either have the mice, and there's a lot of them, or you can bring baby, not both. And she's made the decision that baby is her best friend. Oh, looks like she's having a discussion with all our mice friends. I wonder what she's telling them. Let's find out. So that very night, the girl reluctantly bid the mice farewell. She had a calm talk with them first, explaining about the troubles with not washing the not talking hairless baby to school, and the general, insomnia. And like that, all good mice, they understood. So basically she's sitting in her room, and let's see that picture better. All the mice are out of her hair, and she's talking to all of them, every last one. And she's having a conversation with them, boys and girls. You see, because they're all sitting around and they're listening. And she's basically telling them that she's having trouble with not washing up. She's having trouble not taking baby to school. And, she's having trouble sleeping. So she's tired all the time. And they're going to have to leave so that she can continue to do those things. And they understood. That was really sweet of them. Carefully, they packed their things and dismantled the palace. Single file, they took their leave, singing a mournful song. Oh, girl who would not brush her hair, thank you for letting us live in there. We're on our way, our work is done, we'll find a new head to live upon. The mice were more clever with knock-knock jokes than with songs, as it turned out. And truth be told, they weren't very good at knock-knock jokes. So she's basically telling all the mice goodbye. And here it is. We see 3 of them. Oh, no, actually, ooh, goodness, way more than 3. Let me see how many I can count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Wow, that's a lot. So we see only 25 of the 100 leaving her head. And there she is sitting on her porch with hairless baby, and she's waving goodbye. Look at what she's doing now, boys and girls. Let's find out about this page. When the mice had all gone, the girl took a long, soapy bath, with baby perched on the edge of the tub. After that, she dressed herself and the doll in matching nightgowns, with pictures of happy mice printed upon them. Sitting up in bed, she contentedly ran a brush through her shining mane. Then she kissed baby, leaned back, closed her eyes, and began to dream. So she finally, boys and girls, realized how important it is to take care of yourself, your hygiene, and brush your hair every night. And she's doing a fantastic job. Her hair doesn't seem tangled at all. Ooh. In the morning, the other school children gathered around the girl. They marveled at her braids and at the ingenious way she had tied a ribbon around baby's hairless head. "It's just my way," the girl smiled. Meanwhile, under the monkey bars, another girl who lived next door to the girl who wouldn't brush her hair was deep in argument with a couple of mice dangling from the ends of her wild pigtails. Silly mice, that's just their way. So all her friends are so surprised at how beautiful her hair is, her two braids that she has, and they're surprised at how she put a nice little bow on baby's hair, even though baby has no hair. And way in the background, boys and girls, let's see if I can, there we go. Way in the background, there's a little girl that's dangling from the monkey bars, and her hair hasn't been combed or brushed, and there are two mice trying to latch on to find a new home. The end. That was such a great book. Wow. Fantastic. I loved the little girl and her character. Now, boys and girls, let's take a moment to relax ourselves. Lean back in your bed. Pull the covers up over you. Make sure your head is nice and comfortable on your pillow. And we're gonna just relax as we slowly let our body go to sleep. Now, boys and girls, if it's not your bedtime and you're just doing story time, it's okay. You can relax along with us because relaxing is always nice. We should always take a moment to completely relax our body. Oh, let your shoulders rest. Let your legs rest. And let's slowly breathe in through your nose, and out through your mouth. Let's do it again, boys and girls. In through your nose, and out through your mouth. one more time, boys and girls. In through your nose and out through your mouth. And let's get our body relaxed to go to sleep. Good night, arms. Good night, legs. Good night, head. Good night, brain. Just relax your body. Okay, boys and girls, I hope you're nice and relaxed and you're ready for a fantastic night of sleep. It was my pleasure reading to you tonight, and I hope to see you again tomorrow. Remember, like and subscribe so that we can always go on this journey with each other. Good night, boys and girls. Sleep tight.